Welcome back to Sunrise Daily, coming to you live from our Abuja studio. I do have with me two security consultants, Mr. Vincent Onyekwelu and Mr. Philip Agbese. Just before we went on the break, both of you detailed what was, in your view, kind of the most pertinent issues leading to some of the crisis we're seeing. I want to get to what we're hearing from the state government, the Kaduna state government, about it. We heard recently from Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai to the effect that he's getting ready to invoke what he's calling three different laws: the Peace Preservation Law of 1917, the Riots Damage Act of 1958, and the Collective Damage Act of 1917. And he's saying that communities will now be levied on the basis of damage done within their communities by members of their communities. Is that a good solution in your view? And is that something that could be replicated around the country potentially?
I think that's a very good question. However, I will take that response in this way. What are the lessons learned from these laws of 1958, 1970, and 1971 or something? What are the lessons learned? How competent, how tested was it? And is it futuristic? Or is it going back to the days of when most of us were not even yet born? So the bottom line is, I respect the governor of Kaduna State to take any measures that he believes as the chief security officer of the state to bring peace, safety, and security to his people. However, we must be careful because we are getting information from the grapevine, although unconfirmed, that most of these laws, that what is happening in Kaduna State, in Adamawa State, in Taraba State, is actually strategic in the sense that certain politicians are trying to offset the original indigents that have major population in these communities and substitute them with people that are not originally from that community. So when it comes to the election time, those people that are supposed to vote 100% to the right or to the left will be divided by 50% or 60 or 40%. So these are probably strategic. If you listen, like about 3 weeks ago, there is this information that the Nigerian military reintegrated IDPs back into 3 states in the same north central zones. We don't have information that every single member of the IDPs that were reintegrated came originally from those communities. So the question is, what we are getting from this school of thought, that the indigents of communities are being pushed to the wall or made to be weaker in population, and other people introduced and forced to be part of those communities. So when it comes to the election times, there's going to be a division in vote or even an advantage to certain political parties. I'm not saying it's political party A or political B or C, but the bottom line is that when these strategic measures are taken to bring laws of 1958 back to the system, how effective were they? How tested were they?
First, I think it's very important that as we move forward in this conversation that we are discussing on the basis of confirmed information and not unconfirmed information, because we know what can result when we deal in rumors. With that said, my understanding of the law, as it were, was that the communities that would be penalized, that it would be a community levy as opposed to levies placed on specific individuals, so that there would be a kind of a peer pressure mechanism to stop further violence. I don't know if you think that that's something that could be effectual.
What I said initially was that it's a good law for the chief security officer of the state to bring whatever brings peace and unity to his people. But we need to test these issues. Example, when a community levy is introduced to a community, now, how do we measure the honesty, the transparency, the accountability of those levies? Number 2, how do we actually identify the members of that community? In Nigeria today, as you know, we don't have an identity system that affects every member of the Nigerian society. So how do we actually know who to identify as a member of this community so that we can know who to levy? But the bottom line is, we are trying to probably impoverish Nigerians from the grassroots that are struggling with the current economic hardship in the country, the starvation, the poverty, and we are trying to enforce them to pay for community crises. Where are the law enforcement agencies? Do you know why I say this? Don't forget that billions have been spent from the police, from the military, from the DSS to take charge of the Nigerian national security architecture. So if they are not spending that money wisely to bring community policing to the people, to save lives and property, now they are reversing and punishing the people they're supposed to give service to for crises. It's the job of the security agencies to bring peace, not for them to turn around to levy people that are already impoverished.
Mr. Agbese, what are your thoughts?
Well, my colleague here seems to be, making, I think, conclusions that are very strange and illogical. You see, I grew up in my village, and I come from a very humble community where, those days, when you are going to school in the morning, you are warned not to fight. And whether if, a fellow pupil comes to look for your trouble or not, the warning, don't fight. And when you return back home with your uniforms torn, you receive the beating of your life. Of course, it was a kind of parental check to keep us away from trouble. I think every community in Nigeria should be part and parcel, of the peace-building process of the larger society. It is not enough to say that because the police exist, I should leave my door open and go out. And when the thief comes into my house and something is stolen from my house, I hold the police responsible. I don't think that is logical. I haven't perused the details of the laws that the governor is trying to bring into force. But I see nothing wrong, in people building chains and locks around their homes and surroundings. And the moral chains and locks here, as far as, the preamble to this law is concerned, is the fact that the communities should own the peace process and the security process. And there's no security man. The question of settling IDPs back to their communities, it is something that has been tested. Remember, when we came on board, we were faced as a country with the issue of insurgency. So many communities were displaced. Mubi was overtaken by Boko Haram in 2014. And these are communities that people have returned back. Even in places like Borno, some of the traders who left Borno, they have returned back to continue their business. Remember that when crises, erupt and people abandon their communities to run away, they are running to a new community that they have not had any belonging, they have not had any form of livelihood, they are just displaced people. And when government, is trying through the effort of security agencies or the military to reintegrate these people back, we saw the joy in Gudubali some time ago when people were returned back by the army to return back to their ancestral homes and, start farming. I think the military donated the tractors to them, and they were happy, they were glad, to be returned back. Nobody wants to leave his community for one day and never to come back. For instance, as beautiful as America is, our citizens who leave our country to go to America, they're always very happy when they return back for Christmas or what's it called. So I think if government is working, we should have a situation where after every crisis, because crises are inevitable, people, are able to return back. And if the military is able to intervene, to say these communities we have been able to take over, we cannot guarantee of peace. I think what we should be talking about is a situation where communities where people who were once displaced have been resettled. What is the security situation of this community? What level of community policing, what assurances can we give to them that this crisis will not erupt again?